All right, let's just jump right in. We're living through this massive shift in tech right now. We're moving away from software that just, does what it's told, predictable code, to these autonomous AI agents that think for themselves. They take a goal and figure out how to get there on their own. And while that's incredibly powerful, it also, it breaks everything we thought we knew about quality control. So think about it this way. Your classic software, it's like a delivery truck. It has a set route, A to B. You just check if it got there. Simple. But an AI agent, that's a whole different beast. It's more like a Formula One race car. Its performance isn't about following a map. It's about making thousands of split-second decisions on the track. You can't just ask, did it finish? At the end. No way. You need constant real-time data, telemetry, on every single move. Our old checklists? They're just not built for this. They're totally obsolete. And that brings us right to the heart of the problem, right? The new AI problem. These agents, they don't just fail like old software. It's not about a blue screen of death or the app crashing. It's way more subtle and honestly, way sneakier than that. Yeah, the way they fail is what's so wild. We're not hunting for simple bugs in the code anymore. We're talking about things like factual hallucinations, right? Where the AI just confidently makes something up that sounds completely plausible. Or algorithmic bias, where it takes the hidden biases in its data and just, whoop, turns the volume up. These aren't crashes, they're flaws in its judgment. And that's what's so dangerous. The system seems like it's working perfectly fine, but underneath the surface, it's quietly chipping away at our trust. So what does this all mean? It means you can't just patch the code and call it a day. We have to fundamentally change how we even think about quality. It's a huge mindset shift. We need to stop obsessing over just the final answer and start judging the entire process of how it got there. And this new way of thinking really boils down to one core idea. The trajectory is the truth. It's this simple but powerful principle. We've got to stop looking only at the final output. The real story, the real measure of quality is in the entire decision-making path it took to get there. The journey is everything. Okay, so trajectory, what is that really? It's basically the agent's whole story. It's its internal monologue, its chain of thought. It's every tool it decided to use, like if it went to a search engine or called an API, and it's how it reacted to what it found. It is the full blow-by-blow account of its reasoning from start to finish. Right. But that leads to the million-dollar question, doesn't it? How on earth are you supposed to judge a process that you can't even see? It's all happening inside this digital mind. It feels like a total black box. Well, the answer is actually a concept that a lot of engineers will be familiar with, but we're using it in a brand new way here. It's called observability. This is the key. It's the technical toolkit that lets us crack open that black box and finally see what's going on inside. Here's a good way to think about it. The old way, monitoring, is kind of like checking on a line cook in a kitchen. They've got a recipe, and you just make sure they're following the steps. 1, 2, 3. Easy. But observability, that's for the gourmet chef who gets a mystery box of ingredients. They're inventing a dish on the fly. You don't just care about how the final plate tastes. You want to know why they paired the saffron with the scallops. What was their thinking? That deep why, that's observability. And this whole idea is built on 3 main pillars. You've got logs. Think of this as the agent's diary, where it writes down everything it does. Then you have traces, which are what stitch those diary entries together into a single cohesive story. And finally, metrics, which are like the final report card, giving you the high-level score on how it's all going. Okay, so now we can see the process. We've opened the black box. But who decides if what we're seeing is any good? Who's the judge? Turns out, you need a whole team for this job, and it's not just humans. Your first judge on the team is automation. This is all about speed and scale. These systems are like the gatekeepers, running thousands of automated checks to catch the obvious stuff, big performance drops, simple mistakes, long before a real person ever sees it. Next up, and this is where it gets really cool, is the LLM as a judge. It's exactly what it sounds like. We're using one super smart AI to grade the work of another AI. It's like having a robot professor, and it's amazing for getting really detailed feedback at a scale a human could never manage. But, and this is absolutely crucial, for the really tricky stuff, the nuance, the safety concerns, the complex gray areas, AI just can't do it alone. The buck has to stop with a human expert. They are the final judge. The AI can help grade the paper for sure, but a human sets the curriculum and decides what good actually looks like. So you've got this ability to see inside the agent's mind, and you've got this human AI team of judges. How does it all come together? Well, it creates something really powerful, a system that constantly learns and improves on its own. It's called the agent quality flywheel, and it's this awesome, virtuous cycle. Step 1, you define what good looks like. What are your goals? Step 2, you build in the tools to see everything, the observability. Step 3, your hybrid team evaluates the process. And then step 4, this is the secret sauce, you build a feedback loop. Every time it fails, that failure automatically becomes a test for the future. So the agent is just constantly, relentlessly getting smarter and better. So if you remember just 3 things from all this, make it these. 1, evaluation is not an afterthought. It has to be a core part of your architecture from the very beginning. 2, the trajectory is the truth. The how matters just as much, if not more, than the what. And 3, the human is the final arbiter. AI is a powerful tool, but humans decide the values we build for. And that kind of leaves us with one final thought. Look, the goal here isn't just to build AI that works. It's to build AI that we can trust deeply. And everything we've talked about, this whole framework, is the roadmap to get there. But it also leaves us with a pretty big question to chew on. How will we really know when we're there? How do you measure trust?